Perhaps about 5.5 years ago, I was working as a volunteer at the information centre, and a gentleman from Victoria came and asked us where the men's shed was. And I said, unfortunately Bega doesn't have one. The closest one was Eden, some 45 kilometres away. It was from that point that I thought Bega should have a men's shed. It started just on people that I knew, and actually worked with a gentleman at the information centre who was a foundation member of the Candelo Meet a Mate group. He suggested I talk to a lady called Fiona Scott, who may be able to help us with funding. The Bega Men's Shed was formed in October 2009. At our first annual general meeting, election of office bearers took place. Eric Myers was the president, Fiona Scott was the secretary, Taz Harlow was vice president, Bob Russell was treasurer, and Ray Spencer was publicity officer. All those original members were the backbone of what we've achieved today. Unfortunately, in Bega township itself, there was no premises available to use as a men's shed, so we had to start looking for alternative sites. We actually thought we had a shed, but unfortunately that got leased the same day we went to have a look at it. We then had a phone call from a gentleman called Eric Johnson, who read our article in the paper of Bega Men's Shed looking for a site. And it was possible that we could lease some area of a 3-acre plot that was already developed for a go-kart circuit. We then met with the executive of the go-kart club and the members, and had plans drawn up, and we were all ready to go. And then there was a change of executive, and from this day we really don't know what happened, but it wasn't forthcoming. Suggested the old Bega hospital site might be available to the men's shed. It then took quite a few months for Crown Lands and ourselves to formulate a lease. The agreement with the trust was reached where the men's shed could maintain the grounds and use the cottage on a weekly basis, so blokes could come together, have a coffee, play cards, have a chat, discuss things men do. The funding for the shed really started with the Masonic Lodge, who actually contributed to our insurance so we could become members of the Australian Men's Shed. We then did articles in our local newspaper, and people within the community were forthcoming. People like Dad's Army Golfers from Tarraganda Golf Club, donation. The Lions Club of Bega donated money. The Bank Hotel Fishing Club donated money. And individuals in the community donated money. Council had a few concerns because this Crown Land site is actually deemed to be heritage listed, so we had to comply with heritage type shed, which was height, pitch of roof, colours, materials. applied for grants. One of the major grants we were successful with was the Department of Building Community Partnership. We waited and found out that we were successful to the total of $15,000. That then enabled us to actually purchase the shed. We were successful this year, 2014, in having enough money, approximately $12,000, to finish the internals of the shed, the toilet, what we call the clean room or tea room, kitchen, and the disabled parking. Yeah, we realised at the time things like wiring and the kitchen and certain things involving men's health. One was the IMB Community Partnership, which we were successful in getting $5,000, which went towards the cost of wiring the shed. And we had to come underground 100 metres with power, so that money was spent on that.
The PowerPoint going for the boys and they can start having some fun.
The other one was a Medibank Private, which was for men's health, which allowed us to do some cooking lessons at the local high school. We ran it for 6 weeks. We had a qualified chef. We had quite a few participants. We've had good support morally from other sheds in the Shire, Eden Men's Shed, Balumla, Wyndham, and the newest one, Bombala, up over the mountain. Bermagui Wallaga Lake Men's Shed donated some machines that were surplus to their requirements. Marimbula Men's Shed did exactly the same. Our local member for Bega, Andrew Constance, has been very supportive, and his staff, every time I've been in there wanting information, they've only been too willing to support the men's shed.
I knew once we had a shed up, the rest of it would follow. So it's given me enormous amount of personal satisfaction as well to see the shed up, because I won't always be living in the Bega Valley, but when I leave, I know that there's a men's shed.
The vision for the shed is to see people that are looking for somewhere to come, have a friendship and somewhere to discuss problems, to do things for the community, and to just come and enjoy themselves as a place that they feel comfortable in. In the 5 years it's taken us to get to where we are today, I would like to thank my wife, Kerry, for her support and putting up with the highs and lows of what I experienced getting the shed with others to the stage it is today. It's been the community that's supported us, funded us, and helped us in achieving what's here today.